in many ways, we say doctors should act like coaches. They are not there to do the healing. They're there to guide you, to serve as catalysts, inspire you in some ways, provide you with the right tools, right? But then you got to do the work. Do you find that it's difficult for men at certain stages to do that work versus a woman? Because what I heard there is something, again, I see a lot of times. You start maybe on the body side. You give people who have, Lyme disease, whatever it is, the IVs to start to detox themselves, antimicrobials, nutrition, because they're deficient. You give them a diet, they follow that really well. They're into it, the exercise part of it. Then you say the emotional side's coming up. You have to address that. That's incredibly important. They say, no, it's not. It's like one of these things like that has nothing to do with my disease, my relationship with my mother, my wife. I don't want to address that. And it suddenly becomes this almost macho thing of like, what do my emotions have to do with my health? And it's like everything, that is probably the initiation point of a majority of illness. And men sometimes, have this really hard. Do you see that within your movement, and how are you addressing that emotional vulnerability that a lot of people feel is not masculine to show that vulnerability?
Wow, so much there. So much was spinning while you were talking. The three things that I've seen men struggle with the most, and now almost coaching over 100 men in my first year of business, was self-love, worthiness, and inner confidence. They're all tied together. When you think of self-love and you think of what you were talking about, nutrition, ways of being, right? If you don't love yourself, you're eating Whataburger every day. If you don't love yourself, you're drinking caffeine first thing in the morning. If you don't love yourself, you don't look at the gift of life. You don't care because you don't care about yourself. But we translate it in different ways, right? I'm going to make money. Now I'm going to have confidence. I'm going to get the dream girl. Now I have worthiness. But it's a false summit. It's not real. The way these things happen, right? Because I went on that journey. How do you love yourself? And I went to shamans, tarot card readers, healers, mystics. I went to guys in Bali with fingernails curled up in a bag. Oh, son, let me tell you, right? And how do you love yourself? Tell me the secret. And I found out, like you said, the hard work builds the micro steps into the self-love, worthiness, and inner confidence. When you say yes to clean eating, you're saying, I matter. When you say yes to not jerking off to Pornhub all the time, you say, my seed is power. Right? When you say no to not watching porn, you say, I'm invested in the goddess frequency. I want my queen, so I'm going to emulate beauty, essence, high vibration, someone that when I'm sick is going to hold my hand at my deathbed and say, I got you. Okay? These are the micro steps, and men go, give me the pill. I want it now. What's the answer? I said, the answer is every day. Choosing into these things versus choosing out of them. And how you play that game is how you play the game of life. And my experience of men is that they all say they want it. It brings us back to my days in wrestling, right? When you were 9th grade and you go into the varsity restroom and Al Bevilacqua sat you down along the infamous blue wall at Mass Figure Wrestling and said, how many people want to be a county champ? Everyone raised their hand. Who wants to be a state champ? They all raised their hand. Who wants to be a national champ? Who wants to win Olympic gold? And Al will look at everyone and say, there's only one guy in this room who really believes that. And you get curious, like, what do you mean? There's only one guy in the room that actually is enrolled in every step that would take to have that level of achievement. Every other guy just wants to say it. So when guys say, I want to heal, I want that life. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Show me. Show me. How do you show up in the group? Because a group setting, that's how we heal. Because everyone's great as an individual. But when you're going through it, can you support your fellow brother? Can you call everyone in the group and say, how can I support you? Can you be of service when your life is down? See, these are all a metaphor to life. And why men get to do that together? Because men, and you said it, get to see that vulnerability is your superpower.
Mm-hmm.
When you could say to another man, dude, my biggest fear is that I'll never love myself. My biggest fear is that, my wife will never see me as a king. My biggest fear is that my kids will think LeBron James is their hero and not me. There is a surrender in that takes the boogeyman out of the closet, because now it's not as powerful because you have spoke it. And why we do that in a group is so every man, when they face off with the thing they don't want someone to know, they realize, holy shit, I'm not alone. Almost every guy in this group suffers from a lack of self-confidence. Every guy in this group is struggling with self-love. Every guy in this group has a worthiness thing. Oh my God. And then we unite and we say, are you the symbol of what your children will look up to 10, 20 years from now? Because that's my vision. My vision is, if I ever get blessed with children, or I don't, will the young ones that are coming up, will this, what we're doing right now, this conversation, the Empowered Brotherhood here in Austin, the man movement, will that be the new standard to what masculinity looks like? I can go out gracefully knowing that. I don't need the $1 billion check. I don't need to be Jeff Bezos. I don't need to be the late, great Steve Jobs. I don't care. But let me be a Martin Luther King. Let me be a Mahatma Gandhi. Let me be a Mother Teresa. Because it's the ripple effect. It's more potent than anything. Money, you don't get buried with your Ferrari. But you do take your legacy.